Oh colour work, you've got me in a tangle. After I've done a row or two, I feel like I am mangled. I've tried to work it with two hands, but nothing ever goes to plan. There is a different way to knit. I'll stick to my mosaic. Hello lovelies, how are we? Lesley, not quite enough yarn, not quite enough Vlogmas. Sunday, it's going well, isn't it? Sunday the 11th, I think. Yeah, that makes sense, yeah. How are we? Hope everyone's okay. Just a quick PSA, my song this morning was not a plea for help. I know you guys are lovely and I will be getting inundated with colourwork tips. I can actually knit colourwork, it was a joke, but I know you guys are lovely, so we'll want to help. So thank you in advance, not needed at the moment. I will ask for help if I need it. So hope everyone's okay. Thank you for the response to yesterday's vlog, the OK Not to Be OK annual Lord Reith lecture. I hope everyone is okay. I know it can be difficult and yeah, everyone's okay. So thank you for your positive responses to that. Yesterday I had a lot of plans. I did some of them. The rest of the day didn't quite go to schedule. I don't know if I mentioned that I didn't know if I'd have enough Christmas cards, and it turns out I didn't. So I went out late afternoon to go and get some. So I've got some pictures which I'll put at the end because they've got some flashing lights of the Christmas lights in my local town, which aren't that great, but I think people are a bit more subdued last year. In my very local town, because we're like two towns next to each other and I live in the smaller one, the lights at the beginning of every day's Vlogmas was taken last year, and it was the Christmas lights of my very local town. And this year they've just got a string of lights across the road. They haven't got the big display crossing the road. And at first you think, oh, that looks a bit sad, but as himself and I said, if that means they stay in business, we're all for that, because the cost of running these things and hiring or buying them and just the electricity for them, it's all expensive. So, you know, if shops feel they can't do that this year, don't have a problem with that at all. So. Also, when I was in town, I parked in an underground car park, and I've been meaning to film this for ages because I quite often park there when I go drumming. Some murals, you know we like murals around here. There's a passageway, there's an underground car park, the seafront, and then two bits of kind of town, and it's the crossing point of those four connections, and they've got all these murals, a sea scene. So I've got some footage of that which will also be at the end. So, yeah, so that was yesterday. And then the Zoom call, hosted by Barbara and Valerie, thank you. And thank you to all the ladies that were there. Yeah, great fun, always good fun, nice crowd of people. So yeah, great to see everyone. Odd to think it'll be next year before we see them again. But that's how time works, I believe. So talking of how time works, we'll have our next day's worth of Advent. Oh, this feels like a big ball, if you don't mind me saying. Day 11. Oh, I've torn the bag, that's not clever. So what do we have here? We have some yellow. Now in one of the stashes I've been given in the last couple of years, sadly I seem to have inherited a lot of yarn from people who are no longer with us. One had many balls of this yellow, probably about 50 gram balls, something like that. And this is what's left. I used a lot of it in blankets for family members, and this is what's left. So a nice, bright, cheery yellow. And today I've got to spend 10 minutes listening to happy music. I can do that very happily. I like that. And actually music is in my memory. Driving, sunshine, Nissan Primera, Elgar. I know what that means. There have been times in my life when I've had proper jobs. Not this celebranty turning up talking about people lark. And one of my jobs was a manager for an invoice finance company. So I looked after about 80 odd clients, had a portfolio. I mean, my clients were very small. So I think my total portfolio was about 3.5 million, which in those terms is tiny. But, you know, it was my first management role, so it makes sense that I get given the small clients so that I don't lose the company millions of pounds. And the car I got given as my company car was a super fancy Nissan Primera. Now, I am going back a few years. I am going back kind of 20 odd years. And this was a very shiny supercar then. And it had all the toys, all the gadgets. It had actually been a former salesman's car. And for some reason, the sales staff had better options on their cars than the account managers. This meant, because I got this salesman's car, I had a better car than my previous manager, which went down well. Oh, he wasn't too happy when he found out, but you know, it was just the timing, the way things fell. And I just remember driving along in the sunshine with all the windows open and the sunroof. I mean, this is the vintage of car we're talking about, that it had a sunroof. Had an electric sunroof. Funny story with the electric sunroof. I'm not sure if it was in this car or another one, but himself has quite wiry hair and he used to wear it quite long. And one day I closed the sunroof and he was like, Les, because it was caught. To quickly, yeah. And try and do this with care and compassion and not laughing. But no, I just remember driving along with everything open on this hot sunny day, listening to Elgar at full blast. I'm sure anyone around me was horrified. I used to listen to a lot of classical music. It was when I was studying for my degree, and I used to listen to classical music when I was studying, so that was something I listened to a lot at that time. And it was just a very contented moment. I think it had been a sort of stressy day and I was hot, and then just driving along with this lovely music playing, sunny evening, breeze coming in through everything open, just is a happy moment. And it's sometimes the simple pleasures, isn't it? You know, it doesn't have to be the big grand thing. I mean, yes, it's lovely to have a Caribbean holiday, whatever, but actually sometimes just feeling a bit of wind down time after a busy day at work can be very pleasurable. So yes, that's my happy memory. So I haven't shown you the Advent makes for a couple of days. So let me do that. So the cat blanket is growing, and will probably grow quite a bit today because there's a fair old chunk of yellow here. The chains are growing. I ran out of the yesterday's colour, so I just added some plain red to it. So that's growing. And here are my stockings. Oh, and one's attached to a crochet hook, which is nice. My plan for these is that when they're all finished on Christmas Eve, I'm going to put this around the Christmas tree that sits in our porch. So that's the plan. Because normally I just have white ornaments on that, so this will add a bit of festive silliness and colour. So that's how we're getting on. So yeah, we're nearly halfway through, aren't we? Gosh. So my other plan today is to do some Christmas stuff. So I've got presents to wrap and get ready to put in the post tomorrow. I have cards to write. I wrote some yesterday, but I need to write some more. And then a quick sort of recce as to where I am, what we need still to get, to buy, to make, whatever, and just make sure that our plans are managed. I won't say good or on schedule, but managed would be fine. So whatever you're doing today, have a good one. Take very good care, and thanks as always for being here. Look after yourselves. Cheers. Bye-bye.